الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله
So this is a great month that has come upon us. In this month, as the Prophet ﷺ, Allah showers us with His mercy and His rahmah. Our sins are forgiven. It's easy to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The shayateen are chained. The gates of hell are closed. The gates of Jannah are wide open. And the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith says, if you are not forgiven in Ramadan, then when? This is the time. We know the hadith in Adab al-Mufrad al-Bukhari. You know the hadith when the Prophet ﷺ climbed the stairs and he said, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen 3 times. And the Sahaba said, why did you say Ameen? He says, Rahima anfu. He is a loser, or he or she is doomed. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, who are you talking about? He said, the one who witnesses Ramadan and they don't get their sins forgiven, they are losers. So I said Ameen. So when Jibreel said that, I said Ameen. So this is the time to get our sins forgiven and to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Usually, before we do any of the ibadat, the different ibadat, we make preparations before. The only exception is siyam, fasting. So, for example, we'll take them one by one. Shahada, before someone takes shahada to become Muslim, usually they read about Islam, they call the imam, they take a shower, they come and they take shahada, they become Muslim, right? Before you make salah, you have to have wudu. You can either make the regular wudu or you take a shower, it depends on your case. And you face the qibla, you make the salah, right? So you make preparations before. In the case of zakah, you calculate how much money you have, you look for someone who is poor, or you give it to the masjid. So you make preparations. Before you go for hajj or umrah, then you read about hajj, then you call the company and make reservations, buy your tickets, and go to Mecca for the hajj and the umrah. So you make preparations, you buy this stuff for ihram, like the clothes for ihram and all these things. So you make preparations. In the case of Ramadan, most people don't prepare anything, no preparations. The only thing they do, they receive flyers in their mailbox, Freshco, Walmart, they have sales before Ramadan, Eid Mubarak, Ramadan Mubarak, so they go and buy more food, right? So this is the only preparations that people do. And at the end of the months, a lot of people lose a lot of hasanat. They don't take advantage of this month because they didn't prepare ahead of time. Okay, so what do we do in Ramadan? Why are we losing a lot of hasanat? Well, because we don't prepare just like any other ibadah. I know a lot of people in Ramadan, they spend hours before Facebook, right? Or Fasad book, as I like to call it. But how much time do they spend before Allah's book? Facebook, 7-8 hours, Allah's book, the Quran, 0, right? How good is your fasting in Ramadan if you delay your salah all the time, or if you don't pray at all? How good is your salah, right? You know, what is the point? How good is your fasting in Ramadan if you spend 7, 8, 9 hours in the kitchen cooking? The whole point behind Ramadan is to get closer to Jannah, but all we do in Ramadan is get close to the fire, the stove, the oven, because we're cooking all the time. What is the point, right? So we have to put our priorities in order before Ramadan, so we get the reward of this month. I recommend 2 things, because now this is the second day of Ramadan. 2 things you need to do to achieve your target in this month. Number 1, you have to have a plan on what you are going to do in this month. The things you are going to start doing in this month, and the things you are going to stop or quit in this month. And number 2, you cannot do anything without the knowledge. You have to have the knowledge to make your life easy and make everybody's life easy. So I recommend that you do a list of 3 things that you're going to start doing in this month. Like, for example, I'm going to pray on time, right? And this is something Allah loves. I'm going to be good to my family and my parents. I'm going to call them up. If I need a little bit of help, I'm going to help them. I'm going to sponsor an orphan in Syria or Iraq or Palestine or Yemen. It doesn't matter any country. You just do something. Start doing something good in this month. I'm going to teach my kids how to read Quran. I'm going to learn about this. I'm going to do that. Start doing something good in Ramadan and make Ramadan, open a new page with Allah in this month. Also in this month, make a list of 3 bad things that you do. All of us, in a stage of our lives, we go through jahiliyyah, right? The jahiliyyah, especially in our teens and all that stuff. We do bad things. And all of us have struggles. We have struggle with ibadah, we have struggle, some people have struggle with women, some people have struggle with riba, some people have struggles with pornography. Everyone has their own struggles. Let's be honest about it. We all have struggles in life. We are not angels, we have problems. So start a new page with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month. Ya Allah, this Ramadan, I'm going to start a new page with you because I'm not sure if I'm going to be here next Ramadan. Maybe this is your last Ramadan. I remember this day, last year, Brother Habibullah used to sit over there. Sister Salima Bacha was with us. Sister Umiyaz, who passed away last week, was with us here. And today they are not here with us anymore. Maybe next year, this Jum'ah, the first Jum'ah of Ramadan, next year, maybe I'm not going to be here. Maybe I'll die, maybe I'll go somewhere else. Maybe you will die or you will go somewhere else. Maybe the sister in the back will die or she will go somewhere else. Who knows? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make this a new page with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make Ramadan a new beginning with you, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second thing, you have to have knowledge. الشيء الوحيد الذي أمر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بالاستزادة منه في القرآن ليس الأموال وليس المناصب وكذا العلم وقل ربي زدني علما. The only thing the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم is commanded in the Quran to ask an increase of in the Quran is not money or positions or anything. He's being asked or told in the Quran to ask Allah to give him more knowledge. وقل ربي زدني علما. Oh Allah, increase me in knowledge in the Quran. So what kind of knowledge you have to have? As a Muslim, you have to have the knowledge of three things. Allah, Rasulullah, Islam. These are the three questions we get in the grave anyway, right? You're asked about who your Lord is, who your Prophet is, what your faith is, right? So we have to have this knowledge. The knowledge of Allah, His qualities, Asma'ul Husna wa Sifat Allah Ta'ala, the right way, the right understanding of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And number two, how to worship Him. You cannot worship Allah without knowledge. Number two, the knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ is to follow his sunnah, to know how he did things. And number three, the knowledge of Islam, which is halal and haram. It will be a plus for you if you learn a little bit about the different madhahib, especially the controversial issues, because having knowledge of the different madhahib will make your life very easy. Because sometimes we fight. I spoke about this last Ramadan. We fight in Ramadan over non-issues, small things, and we waste the spirituality of Ramadan. We lose the reward. We waste our time and our effort. The beginning of Ramadan, the end of Ramadan, how many rak'ahs in Taraweeh, whether we should finish Quran in Taraweeh or not, whether we should read Quran from the Mus'haf or not in Ramadan. The great majority of the scholars, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad, they say it's okay to read from the Mus'haf in Taraweeh, in Salatul Sunnah. The great majority of the scholars say, yes, you can do it. Imam Abu Hanifa said, no, you can't. You can't do it in Fard or Sunnah. You cannot read from Mus'haf. So you have to do two different opinions. Whichever you follow, both of them are acceptable. Both of them are valid and they're good. But, لا إنكار في مختلف فيه. If someone follows a different madhab, they have a different opinion, which is acceptable, you shouldn't fight with them. You shouldn't give them a hard time. So when you familiarize yourself with the different madhab, then your life becomes easy and you make people's lives easy. So in the remaining few minutes, inshallah, I'm going to go quickly through some of the rulings related to Ramadan. So inshallah, at the end of the month, we have fasted properly. Because I know some of us, even those who are born and raised Muslim, sometimes they forget the rulings. And I know there are some brothers and sisters, I see them here today. They are new to Islam. This is their first Ramadan probably, so they don't know the rulings. First of all, during the day of Ramadan, you're not supposed to eat or drink or have intimate relations during the day. Everything is permissible at night. There are certain things that we do during Ramadan that invalidate the fast, and you have to make up the days after Ramadan. And in some cases, in addition to making up the day or the days, you have to make a kafara. You have to make up by compensating or paying something more. So there are three things, if we do in Ramadan, you have to make up the day after Ramadan. If you eat or drink intentionally, you have to make up the day after Ramadan. But if you eat or drink by mistake, it's your first day, and it happens all the time. The first couple of days, you forgot. So you ate or you drank, then your fasting is acceptable. And the Prophet ﷺ says, if you eat or drink by mistake, then it's Allah who gave you to eat and drink. And I think last year I mentioned the story of the brother from Edmonton, Brother Muhammad, mashallah, big guy, huge guy. First day of Ramadan, he works in the construction, very tough job. So he came to me and he was terrified, right? I said, what happened? He said, well, I came home, there was no one home. I opened the fridge and he ate everything in the fridge, shelf by shelf, right? So chicken, rice, fruit, everything, biryani, you name it, right? Sweets. Then he remembered that this is the first day of Ramadan. Big problem, right? Big problem. So he came to me and I told him, I gave him the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and I told him, don't do it every day, right? If you do it by mistake, but not intentionally. So this is the first case. If you eat or drink by mistake, your fasting is still valid. If you eat or drink intentionally, then your fasting is broken. You have to make up the day after. Number two, if someone vomits intentionally, if someone throws up, if a sister is pregnant or someone ate something and they throw up unintentionally, they have no hand in it, then their fasting is valid. But if they throw up intentionally, they stick their finger in their throat and they throw up, then they have to make up the day after Ramadan. So the Prophet ﷺ says, مَنْ تَرَعَهُ الْخَيْءُ فَلَا قَضَاءَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ اسْتَقَاءَ فَلْيَقْضِي. The Prophet ﷺ says, if someone throws up intentionally, they have to make up the day. But if someone throws up or vomits unintentionally, their fasting is valid. Why would anyone eat suhoor, for example, or they have breakfast, iftar at night, and why would they throw up intentionally? Well, this is a common cause. The doctors know that some people, especially celebrities like actors, dancers, models, and people who are in sports, some of them, they have a ravenous appetite. They like to eat a lot, but they also like to stay in shape. So what they do, they eat anything they want, and after they eat, they stick their finger in their throat and they throw up, right? Because they don't want to gain weight and they want to stay in shape, so they throw up. So in this case, the fasting is not valid and they have to make up the day after Ramadan. Number three, if a sister starts her monthly cycle anytime during the day of Ramadan, even 1 or 2 minutes before the call to Maghrib, sunset, she has to make up the day after Ramadan. Or if a sister delivers a baby, the next 40 days or the stopping of the blood, whichever comes first, she will have to break the fast and she will have to make up the days after Ramadan. Some young sisters, I'm talking about 12, 13, 14, if they start to fast, they reach puberty, they don't know the ruling, or they are shy to talk to their family. Now I'm a woman now, right? So they have haya, they are shy to talk to their family. So what they end up doing, they fast, although they have the monthly cycle. So they make two mistakes. Number one, you're not supposed to fast if you have the monthly cycle because your fasting is not valid. And number two, she doesn't make up the day after Ramadan. So these are the two mistakes. The fourth case, you have to make up the day and make a kafara if someone has an intercourse with their wife in the day of Ramadan. I'm talking about sexual intercourse, full intercourse. In the hadith, the Sahih, Bukhari, Muslim, وغيره, the man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, halakt, I'm doomed. And the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, what happened? He said, well, I had a relationship with my wife during the day of Ramadan, during the day. Sexual intercourse. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Alaka an tu'tiqa raqaba, can you free a slave? He said, I don't have money. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, can you fast for 60 days? He said, well, I couldn't hold my horses back for one day of Ramadan. I can't fast for 60 days after Ramadan. I can't. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, can you feed 60 poor people? He said, well, I can't afford it. Then after some time, a man came and gave a plate of dates to the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ gave it to the man and he said, give it for sadaqah. So the man said, should I give it to someone who is poorer than me in the city? Wallahi, I'm the poorest one in the whole world. So the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, take it and feed it to your family. في مسند أبي داود, the Prophet ﷺ said, Sum yawman makan. The Prophet ﷺ said, fast another day for this one. If someone has a wet dream, من احتلم في رمضان, if they have a wet dream during the day of Ramadan, their fasting is valid because they have no control over it. But if someone masturbates during the day of Ramadan, we have to know the ruling. In this case, they make up the day again after Ramadan. Their fasting is not valid. They make up the day after Ramadan. And if someone kisses his wife or is involved in foreplay, we have to know the ruling. In this case, if the person ejaculates, he's not involved in sexual intercourse. He just touches his wife, he hugs his wife, he kisses his wife, he ejaculates. In this case, he has to make up the day after Ramadan. And we have to make the distinction between mani, which is sperm, and also the madi, which is the small sexual discharge, which usually comes out after foreplay. So in this case, if we have madi, the small sexual discharge, it only invalidates the wudu, but not the fasting. Only the ejaculation which invalidates the fasting and the person has to make up the day after Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us and to give us the knowledge.